Food. Food. Yummy. Yummy.
I'm Andy, and this is Menu from Mars, and I really can't believe you've come back again. You don't learn. So, anyway, we made barbecue sauce and wing sauce. And you're probably thinking, there is just a crap load of sauce here, and there's no way I can eat it all. We are going to jar it, can it. And it amazes me how many people just really don't know how to do this. They know the process, but they don't know the proper way to do it. So we're gonna go over that, and I'm gonna can some barbecue sauce, I'm gonna can some wing sauce, jar it. I'm going to use a canning pan. I am also going to use a regular stock pot, because some people do not have the luxury of having the room to store this giant thing on top of regular pans. So if all you have is regular stock pots, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do it in this. Real simple, real easy. This is going to be an extremely quick episode. But like I said, there are just some people that either aren't sure how to do this, aren't quite positive on the correct way to do it, and I need to jar some of this stuff because there's too much. I have my barbecue sauce from yesterday that I made all yummy, and I used on ribs last night that were so good I almost cried. Okay. Mason jars. You need mason jars, and I have a ladle, obviously, and this doohickey funnel thing. Anything will work. You don't even need this. It just makes life easier. You can go to any food store, pick it up on Amazon, and anywhere online you can find it. I like it because the amount of room that this sinks into the Mason. I talk all the time. You hear my phone ringing? Stop calling. The amount of room that this goes into the mason jar is almost the exact room that you need to leave in the top of the jar. So this is going to be a long, drawn-out process here, but and obviously I won't make you watch the entire thing. However, it's as simple as ladling your barbecue sauce, which sweetened wonderfully overnight, by the way, from last night. Little tangy, we'll call it. Yesterday afternoon, nice and sweet this morning though. And this is what you want to do. I don't know if you can see that. I'll grab the camera and bring it over when I'm ready. When I'm ready. You just want to fill it till it touches the very bottom of the jammy jam, and it is ready to go. You can stop here. You can fill it just a little bit more if you want. You want about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 an inch between the top, the very top, and where your fluid is. But I will come and get it. I'm going to add just a little more because this is a wide mouth can, a wide mouth jar. So this actually sinks just a little bit further in. So when you're looking at this, there is a secondary and a first set of threads. If you fill just to underneath the first set of threads on these wide mouth jars, it works out perfect. And that could use a little more, but I'm going to leave it there. Well, I will come and get the camera so you can see it. Okay, here we are. It's not quite up to this first thread, so I may add just a little bit more, but if you come to right where the first thread begins and you fill it just underneath the bottom of that, you can't go wrong. This is the room it'll need for the air, for the expansion and contracting of the barbecue sauce to actually form an airtight seal. So we are going to put the camera back and start on the next jar. Before I put the camera back, I figured I'd show you that I added just a smidge more. So it's right where it wants to be. That is, believe it or not, somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. And that'll do it. That's right where you want to fill it. Here's where the process begins. I might leave the camera running just so that I can put this in fast forward. But what I'll do, especially with the barbecue sauce, is I will fill as many of these big jars as possible because I like making ribs and pulled pork. Those are my favorite things to do in the smoker, and you need lots of barbecue sauce when you do those. When you pull the pork by hand, in order to get it so that when you freeze it, it doesn't go bad, you want to put something acidic around it. Barbecue sauce works great, seeing how that's what goes on it anyway. So that's, you need these big jars for that, and one big jar will pretty much take care of 3 or 4 St. Louis cut ribs, racks of ribs. So that's what I use. But when I start getting down to probably 1/3 of this left from the batch we made yesterday, I will I'll stop putting it in the smaller jars just in case we're not doing ribs or we have something that we need with the barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna shut up now and I'm just gonna start filling. Woo, perfect. Should have a jar already ready to go. I do not. But as I fill these, I'll show you my way of doing it.
I am speeding this up so you don't have to watch me fill a bunch of jars. I may have to do this a second time, so let's have some music. Watch me dance around. I'm filling jars for you to see. Dancing, filling, barbecue sauce, barbecue sauce. You like to watch me fill jars. I have to use this cheap mouth music because I don't have the money to pay for digital rights. And you don't want to sit there and watch me do it anyway. Filling up jars of barbecue sauce while you sit there and watch it on the internet. Do you like it? My barbecue sauce. I'm itchy. Need a shower. Need a shower. And we're coming right up to the end now.
As we move to the little bit that's left here, I usually make up a jar just to stick in the fridge. Yeah, I called it a fridge. Because I still have ribs to eat, so I might as well have some barbecue sauce. Ooh, that's gonna be full. Alright. And that's that. So what we're gonna do is this will go in the fridge, and this right here we're gonna jar. We're gonna put in the canning pan. Okay, here's what you want to do. Every single time you do this, you are going to want to grab a paper towel or a rag or something. You want to wet it down, and you just want to make sure that there's no debris on the very top of the jars. It will prevent it from making a decent seal. It will invite bacteria and other things that could give you the trots, as well as
throw up pukies.
So just make sure you wipe it down. Remember, it's all in the process. It's all the method that you do this that makes it safe, that makes it better, that makes it good. And once you get these cleaned off, you want to put a new lid on them. You don't want to use old lids that you've already broken the seal on. They make these things to be used once. And I know you're thinking I'll just save a little money and reuse lids. I wouldn't reuse them unless, like you saw, this one's going back in the fridge, so you can put an old lid on that. It's acidic, it's gonna stay. You're not looking for it to seal anyway. So with this one, brand new lids, but I've got some brand new lids right here anyway. Take these brand new lids and you just put them on. It's difficult. It's so difficult. And then brand new lids for everybody. Just like that. And then you want to put your rings on. Now these finger tight only, because just barely too, because what's going to happen is you want the air to be able to slip out of this, and it's not going to be able to do it if you crank it down. So you just want it like that, finger tight. Well, the whole process won't work. Believe it or not, when you take these out of the water, these finger tightened lids will be loose again. And they won't actually be loose. Did you hear that? They won't actually be loose. What will happen is the lid itself is going to tighten down, and when it gets vacuumed down, it's going to take this little waxy area and it'll melt around the lid of the jar, which will compress it down. Aren't you glad I went through all that for you? Alright, so, and I'll come get the camera and let you see this. You just want to arrange this. Ooh, I'm off camera! You want to arrange this so that you have a couple of big ones directly across from each other. Get your mind out of the gutter. And what this has is, this has a little metal rack inside of it, and I'm going to bring the camera over and show it to you. And what that rack does is it prevents the bottles from resting right up against the hot bottom of this. We like it when they have hot bottom. When they rest against the bottom of the pan, it can boil inside the jar, and that's not good. So I'm going to come and get this and let you see, and then we'll do step 2. Okay, as you can see, big jars, little jar, little jar. You can actually put one in the center here too, but I do not have another one. So this is how you arrange them. And when we fill this, we are going to fill it to just about 1/4 of an inch over this. And that is going to take some time. And then it's going to take even longer for this to boil. But I'm going to go ahead and fill this, and you get to watch. But I'll speed it up so it'll be at least semi-interesting. I've already brought this over to the sink. And we are just going to get some hot water and fill this. It's going to take a while. There's a lot of space here. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the film, but I'm going to leave it on just because I need length.
Here we are filling up something with water that is going to take a long time, so now I have to speed up the film again. Here we go. Filling up my pan. Filling up my pan. Gonna dance. Kinda boring. Dancing around the kitchen. Doing nothing special. Yeah, you wash anyway. That was watch, not wash. Just standing in my kitchen, filling up a pan, and you're watching still. There's something wrong with you. I would have gone away now. But you're still watching. What is wrong with you? You're silly. And here we go, it's the end again.
Ta-da! Alright, I'm going to move this to the stove, and then I'm going to let you take a look at it. We have moved this to the stove. You will see that little bit of water. That's all you need over the top of the tallest ones. And then we are going to bring this to a boil. When it boils, and I'll put the lid on it, we are going to start a timer for 35 minutes. In the interim, I'm going to start the wing sauce because it'll take less time. I have my wing sauce here. I'm gonna come get the camera and bring it over here so that you can see that this is thickened up real nicely overnight with between the flour and the tapioca. Just kind of bookending a different program. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put some in smaller jars because I only need the little jars for this, not the real little jars, but you know. And some of it I'm going to put in here because I needed to make wings and finish the wing show, which I haven't done yet. But I washed our utensils because if you made my barbecue sauce, per my recipe, it is stick to your ribs type shit. So it's not going to come off the metal utensils very easily. You actually have to wash them or else your wing sauce will have a hint of smokiness, and that's not what this wing sauce is about. So I'm going to show you the wing sauce and then I'm going to start doing what I did before. Alright, here's my wing sauce. Look at this. Look at how thick that got. Woo! Look at that. So thick it could have skin, except it doesn't. Look at that. And it's heavy. That's what you want in a wing sauce. I just took shrapnel. I hope I didn't get any on my camera. Alright, so here we are. We've got some jars. Wide mouth and small mouth. It depends on what your preference is. Alright, once again, pre-washed. These that I'm pulling out. Should always wash them first, not the lids though, just wipe those down, because if you throw the lids, these things, into the dishwasher, you're going to melt and it's not going to cause a seal. So another thing I should have told you that I did kind of off camera for the barbecue sauce is simply that you want to get the bubbles out of this too. If there are any bubbles in the sauce, you bang it on the counter, get them up as much as you can, because you don't want any air to stay. Bacteria can grow in that. A lot of people put a drop of lemon or a drop of lime on top of whatever they're canning. I don't do that with this type of stuff because wing sauce, it's all acid, and barbecue sauce, it's all acid, so you don't have to worry about that. Don't be scared. Damn it. Alright, wing sauce. Again, same thing applies. You want to fill the jar to within 1/4 of an inch from the top. I've only got 3 jars. I know what you're thinking, it's not worth doing it for that. It is. Normally I would have gotten 4 or 5, but I needed to fill this for the wing shoot that I'll be filming in the next day or 2. Those can go in the fridge. This is going to be our canning pan, just a regular stock pan. Now, what you want to do is you just want to take a hand towel, a tea towel, whatever you want to call it, and you want to kind of crunch it up in the bottom. Crunch it. Scrunch it. You hear someone still calling me. I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera and let you see this after I take care of what I need to take care of with this. And again, you're just looking for air bubbles. If there are none, just wipe down the top of your lid so there's no bacteriaries. That's my word. You're welcome. Clean off the top, because we don't want to get botulism. Botulism. It's killing me I can't wipe my nose, by the way, because I'm on camera. Now that I'm done with this, I can though. That's gonna look good as a still picture. Let's go. New lids. Take it. Just finger tighten lightly. Do it lightly. We are ready to go. Once again, we're putting the towel in here to A, make sure these don't clank together. I'm gonna put a second one in. And B, so that they're not resting right on the bottom of the pan. You don't want your jars to clank together, which they will do. Okay, so if you have nothing but a regular stock pot, just put the towel in the bottom, rest the jars on top. I like to push them out close to the sides, and then just put another towel in between them so that if they click over, they won't smash together. Now I'll probably stick another towel in here, just to be sure that they don't clank together like that. And now, much like the last one, we're going to fill this one with water about up to here. You just want about 1/4 of an inch above. Okay, through the magic of editing, which I probably won't edit that out. Here we are at the sink again. Hot water. You just spray it in there. It's filled to the top here. We are going to move it to the stove, and we're going to put the burner on high. I'll bring you over and take your look. Take your look. It's just friggin' wonderful, isn't it? Okay, here we are. So you can apparently take your look. It's in here, hot, but about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch tops. And we'll just let that come to a boil. We'll put the lid on that and put the timer on for 35 minutes and they'll be done. And that is the button that popped off my shorts the other day. I don't know if it's because I'm eating all this good food or I just got too excited, but it was in the middle of a show. If you listen closely, you can hear it hit the floor, but I'm not going to tell you which one. All right, that's it. Put the cover on the pan, wait for it to come to a boil. This big one here is gonna take forever. But once it gets there, it'll be done. I'm gonna throw these in the fridge. Wings, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Barbecue sauce for ribs tonight. Again, you damn right I'm eating them again. I'll put away the rest of the canning supplies. And listen, I know it was simple. I know it was easy. I know most of you know how to do it. But like I said, I'm very surprised with the amount of people that just don't know how to do that and don't know how long to do it for, what to do, how to make it safe. And it really is a great way so that you can make a batch of barbecue sauce, a batch of spaghetti sauce, a batch of wing sauce, and you can put some of it aside so you're not making it every weekend. It tastes the same on the other end as it does here, and well, not coming from the other end, but when you open up a jar, it's going to taste the same. All these things are very acidic, so you don't have to worry about them going bad. I am using my hands a lot. But again, very basic, very simple, very quick, but at least you can refer to this when you need to know, if you need to know how to do it, or if you forget over time. I'll probably watch this, because sometimes I forget. I think it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes. They really want you to do it over a half an hour. I think that's overkill, but we'll do it 35 minutes. And that's that. When we start the timers, maybe I'll bring you in, because that's exciting. It's exciting. And then when they're done, we'll pull them out, put them on the counter, and maybe we'll get lucky and I'll leave the camera running for a while and you'll hear that cluck, 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 cluck of all the lids vacuum sealing. Goodbye! I'm Cletus, formerly of Cletus's Cloning and Oregon Farm. Since my business was shut down by new legislation, I've opened a second business. I'm Uncle Stanky now. This is Uncle Stanky's second-hand unmentionables. When you don't want to pay full price for full-backed panties, you come to Uncle Stanky. All kinds of things you can do when you buy unmentionables from Uncle Stanky. During these rough economic times, if you don't want to wear second-hand unmentionables, look at these bloomers. Oh! If this is for the missus, a nice Valentine's present,
You just go ahead and make them crotches. Like that. Woohoo! That's a Valentine's gift every woman will love. And if she don't love them, that's okay. After making them crotches, you go ahead and use this as a muscle shirt. Woo! We like to call them wife beaters where I'm from. Muscle shirt. Woohoo! So come on down to Uncle Stanky's secondhand unmentionables. Used underwear! You can ask for Uncle Stanky. And remember, if you find a stain, you get an extra 10% off. How in the hell you gonna give me stained panties for my commercial? This thing's costing me $10.
Uncle Stanky's 10% off stain offer not valid on bras with antiperspirant stains or thongs over size 14 with sweat stains.
It still looks good.
Okay, here we are. We've finally come to a rolling boil. See? Look at that. Look at that. We're gonna need 35 minutes on the clock, please. And once this hits 35 minutes, we can shut this one off and pull the jars. This one is not quite there, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Rolling boil. We'll just time them both together. That worked out spiffy. I was going to use my secondary timer, but don't need to. These will both boil at the same time, so they'll be ready at the same time.
I love it when a plan comes together.
You hear that sound? It means they're ready to come out. So I'm going to shut off the timer and bring you on over here. And we will pull these out. Don't forget to turn off your heat. Ooh. And let them rest on the counter now, and they should be bacteria-free and safe to eat for months to come. You hear there's a tool for every task. This is the tool you're looking for. This little jammy jam is for nothing else but to pull mason jars out of hot water. Yeah, I said water. You wanna fight about it? Alright. Remove the lids. Woo. Steamy. Almost time for lobster. And I said lobster as well. Alright. You want to grab your babas and just set them out after their 35-minute bath. Don't burn yourself. Ta-da! That's it. You just set them out on the counter. The reason, too, that I didn't do the barbecue sauce and the hot sauce together is that these will leak a little bit while they're in the water. And when they suck everything back in, you don't want hot sauce getting in your barbecue sauce and your barbecue sauce getting in your hot sauce. I don't know if I mentioned it. I probably won't even find it in editing if I did. However, I will set up the camera when these things stop popping so that you guys can hear the end. And once they're done with this, you want to tighten the lids down a little harder by hand. Hand tight that time, not finger tight. And store them somewhere. They'll stay good for months. I can't tell you how long they'll stay good because it really depends on you, the acidity level, how you did this. And I'm too poor to get sued. So it'll keep for a long time. I keep these for months if they last that long. So there we go. Canning made easy. I'm done. It's flinging, flanging hot in here. Woo! Crap! More dishes!